What's up everybody, this is Danny, and today's an exciting one because this is the OnePlus 10 Pro, and it's not out here in the US yet, but they released it in China first. This is because OnePlus and the parent company Oppo are merging, so that's why it released there first. If you want to pick one of these up early, I got mine from 28mobile.com. I couldn't wait because I had to test out this camera, so I'm going to give you some camera samples to show you what the OnePlus 10 Pro can do. 28mobile.com has tons of rare and early smartphones, so I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in picking one of these up. Google services are working perfectly, by the way, if you were wondering. So here's what you get in the box. The presentation looks very familiar if you've ever opened a OnePlus phone before. In this sleeve, you get some paperwork, a SIM card removal tool, some OnePlus stickers, and for the phone there are two colors, a volcanic black, and this one is the emerald green. I thought it was the more interesting color, so I got this one. We'll set this to the side and let me show you what comes in the rest of the box. I know that OnePlus usually includes a case, but I love the fact that this one is an amazing color. This one makes me actually want to use it, so let me know what you think about it. And you also get a charger in the box still. What do you know? This one is an 80-watt Super VOOC charger, the same naming scheme as Oppo. Not sure if it will be warp charging when it actually drops internationally. And you also get that classic red USB-C cord, which we are all used to. So what's new with the OnePlus 10 Pro? Let's do a quick comparison with the OnePlus 9 Pro. The design from the front really doesn't look much different at all. They both have 120Hz 6.7-inch 1440 by 3216 displays, but the new OnePlus 10 Pro has the LTPO2 display, so it can go all the way down to 1 Hz if it needs to save battery, which is cool. Both still have the optical in-display fingerprint scanner, and it works great so far. The front-facing camera is in the same place on the left upper corner, but the OnePlus 10 Pro does have a 32-megapixel front shooter this year versus the 16-megapixel on the OnePlus 9 Pro, and it seems to be better in my quick testing, as you can see. It's a pretty big difference here. The hardware is very familiar, almost the exact same layout. There's a power button on the right, alert slider above it, which I still love, volume rocker on the opposite side, and the same speaker, USB-C, and SIM card layout on the bottom. I think that this can take two 5G SIMs at the same time, and even though that this phone is not water rated in China, you can see the seals around the SIM card tray. So I'm pretty sure that this is probably water resistant, but we'll see if it actually gets that rating when it hits international waters. Where you're going to see the difference is the back. It does look a little bit wider, and that's because it now has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which is amazing. The OnePlus 9 Pro has a 4,500 milliamp hour battery for comparison. I showed you that power brick earlier that came in the box. The OnePlus 10 Pro supports up to 80-watt wire charging, where the OnePlus 9 Pro supports up to 65-watt wire charging, and they both still support 50-watt wireless charging, which is awesome. So the big design change that you are going to notice is this camera housing. It looks like a quad camera system, but it's not. This is the dual tone flash. I almost like the 9 Pro's more understated look better, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. Despite the change in looks, there's only one sensor that actually got upgraded, and that is the ultra wide lens. It's a 50 megapixel f2.2 150 degree field of view sensor. When you take a normal 0.6 shot in the camera app, they both have the same field of view. When you move to the 150 degree mode, you can see that there's more distortion, but it's now much wider. Then you can actually take full advantage of this sensor, which is really cool. This is something that I'm going to have to use more to see if it's actually practical. The OnePlus 10 Pro is one of the first batches of smartphones with the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset, and on the CPU gains, you're not going to see huge improvements, but on the GPU, you're going to see some nice gains. This is definitely a welcome change. I need to use this more to give you a better understanding of the benefits. This is the first phone that I've used with this chipset. Most modern phones are plenty fast already, and so far, this is everything that I expected. It's fast and fluid, so I need to see if this maintains after prolonged use, and I'll definitely follow up with battery life as well. They are both running Android 12, and the software does look a little different because this is ColorOS 12 running on the OnePlus 10 Pro. This could look different before it hits internationally and could look more like the OnePlus 9 Pro, so I'm going to wait until the international release before I heavily start comparing software. But let's jump into the camera app to see what's new. When you go into the settings, there are a few new things. The AI Ultra Clear mode seems to be gone on the new phone, but 10-bit color is now here, which we have seen on Oppo phones. When you take a picture, you will see it pop up if you have this enabled, so this is a welcome addition. The camera app looks very similar here, just a few visual changes, like instead of showing megapixels here, it says high, and instead of expert, it says pro, so it's little things like that. Inside the Pro mode settings, there is a new feature called RAW Plus, which gives you RAW plus the computational photography similar to the iPhone, which I think is a great addition for Pro Capture. There are new features like the 150-degree mode that I showed you earlier. There is a long exposure mode as well, which is super easy to use. You can set the timer yourself or use the presets here for water and clouds or light painting. You have dual mode video now, which is pretty standard on flagship phones. Expand, which is also on the 9 Pro, which is a cool Hasselblad feature that got pushed over with the software update. You can take some really cool pictures with this. On the 10 Pro, I don't see the 30mm and 45mm change option like I see on the 9 Pro, so I'm not sure what's going on. But here is something that I know a lot of people will be happy with, and that's movie mode. This is basically Pro mode video, and it's not as extensive as I've seen from other manufacturers, but there are some nice features. There isn't a way to change the frame rate anywhere. I hope they add that later. Your controls are here on the side, and you also have the choice to turn off stabilization for a wider field of view without a crop, and you can also shoot in log, which is awesome. And you can also choose to shoot HDR video. This is something that I'm definitely gonna have to shoot with. And in the regular video app, you have the choice all the way up to 8K, and there is a 24 frames per second option as well. So make sure that you subscribe for more videos to come, especially the camera comparisons. Let me know what phone that you wanna see it up against first. So what I did is I took this phone out last night and took a bunch of pictures and videos. I just couldn't wait, so I wanted to share them with you. Let me know what you think about this phone, and if you're excited to see more content on it. Enjoy these samples and let me know what you think about them in the comments below.